Everyone has their favorite way of eating Nutella. My personal preference is paired with Oreos to create this creamy and chocolatey Nutella Oreo cheesecake. So let's get started.
Add 20 Oreos or any chocolate sandwich cookie to a food processor, followed by a quarter cup of soft, unsalted butter. You may melt the butter if you don't have a food processor. To help the cheesecake stand up to its name, we're adding a quarter cup of whole hazelnuts that are raw. And of course, you're going to take 2 generous spoonfuls of Nutella or any chocolate hazelnut spread. Now keep a 350-gram jar handy because you're going to be using all of it. Blend these ingredients together until they are nice and smooth. Instead of using a food processor, place the ingredients into a Ziploc bag and pound them up using a rolling pin. It'll be a nice and vigorous exercise for your arms. Pour the mixture into an 8-inch or 20cm springform pan that's non-stick and press it up the sides. It makes it so much easier if you use a springform pan. Once you're done with that, set the pan aside and into a bowl. Add half a cup of Nutella and keep 1/2 cup aside as well because you're going to add that later. So altogether for this filling, you'll need 1 cup of Nutella. To this Nutella, you're going to add 80 grams of dark chocolate. I believe this is about 3 ounces. Now you have to melt the mixture either over a double boiler or you can pop it into the microwave for about a minute, stirring every 20 seconds until it's nice and smooth. Make sure to stir it because otherwise it will scorch. To this mixture, you're going to add the remaining Nutella. Get all that chocolatey goodness mixed in, and then you're going to add 500 grams of cream cheese. This is approximately 1 pound. I chose to mix in the cream cheese using a whisk as opposed to an electric mixer because I figured that this cheesecake was so indulgent, the least I could do was do it by hand so I could burn the slightest bit of calories. Switch to a spatula, which might make it the slightest bit easier to mix, and once you're at that creamy mousse-like consistency, you're going to pour in the cheesecake mixture into that base that we had prepared earlier. The most satisfying part about making this cheesecake is probably spreading out the mixture, which you can do so using that spatula or using a palette knife. If you're like me, you'd probably spend a good 10 minutes trying to get the top as smooth as possible, but once you're done with that, you're going to sprinkle atop some chopped hazelnuts and Oreo cookies. This part is optional because you could totally pour on some ganache, but I think it adds a nice crunchiness to that smooth and rich texture of the cheesecake. And you're done. Just kidding, you have to cover the cheesecake with some cling wrap and pop it into the refrigerator for a minimum of 3 hours or overnight until it's nice and firm. #deceived. But once it's done, after that night is up, I guarantee you it'll be worth the wait, especially when you unveil it from that springform pan. Now it's done. Now you can place it onto that pretty plate that you're going to serve it in. You can grab your fork and knife and you can cut yourself a generous slice. This cheesecake is pretty flawless, aside from the fact that it probably has like 1 million calories. The hardest part about this recipe is the waiting. The rest is as easy as no-bake Nutella cheesecake. The pairing of Oreos, Nutella, and dark chocolate go beautifully together, and the hazelnut and Oreo chunks add a nice crunch. If you want to make this cheesecake for a die-hard Nutella fan, you can find the recipe on hotchocolatehits.com.
Thanks so much for watching. As usual, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to keep up with more videos like this and give me a thumbs up if you liked watching this. And I want to know what your favorite way of eating Nutella is, so leave your answers in the comments down below and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.